A stranger offered my boyfriend and I thousands to be intimate in front of him. Part 2. After we watched the old man walk away, my boyfriend and I just sort of burst out in laughter, in total disbelief of what had just happened to us. We spent the rest of the night joking about it and talking about how crazy it would be if we actually did it. But the next morning when we woke up and we were completely sober, we decided to have a serious conversation about whether we should do it or not. As I mentioned in my first part, my boyfriend and I are starving artists. We hadn't had many jobs that month and we were both struggling to pay the rent on our tiny studio. The $4,000 that the old man had offered us to watch us have intimacy in front of him for an hour would have paid our rent for almost 3 months. If our rent was paid, we could have afforded to take better opportunities since we wouldn't have to work our crappy part-time jobs to pay the bills. The more my boyfriend and I discussed it, the more we realized we were convincing ourselves to take this absolutely insane opportunity. Once we agreed that we were going to accept the old man's offer, we came up with the safest way we would do this shady favor. We decided we wouldn't go to his house or mansion or whatever in case he had security cameras, and we would rent a hotel room of our own to make sure we weren't being recorded. Just having the conversation felt crazy. I never imagined either of us doing something so wild. We were actors and models, not porn stars. Yet there we were, giggling with each other as we called the old man back and accepted his offer. He was overjoyed when we spoke on the phone and asked us if we were willing to meet up that night. I was nervous since I didn't realize it was going to happen so soon, but we agreed, and the next thing I knew, my boyfriend and I were sitting on the king-size hotel bed in front of the stranger that we had met the night before. The old man was dressed in another, well-tailored designer suit, and I noticed he had this cane with a porcelain hawk head on it. My boyfriend and I had talked about how we were nervous to do this, but we knew it would ultimately make our lives easier. I was anxious to start, but once my boyfriend started kissing me, things felt natural as long as I didn't look over and remember the old man was looking at us. We had intimacy in front of him for 1 hour exactly, just as he requested. When we were done, he gave us this giant smile and a cashier's check each. The ride home was sort of silent. I think afterward my boyfriend and I both felt kind of weird. When we got home, we cried to each other about how ashamed and violated we were feeling. We were just so stuck on the money and had no idea how exposed we would feel afterward, and we could never take it back. Even though our rent was paid for months and we were able to take better jobs at that time, I think we both were a little traumatized. But we didn't realize just how massively we had screwed up until 4 months after that weird night in the hotel room. All the money we had earned from selling ourselves was officially used up, and that was the month that we found the video of us from that night on P. It was one of the worst nights of our lives, and the video had thousands and thousands of views already. We figured that the old man must have had a camera and that mysterious cane he had brought along.